Respect me, man. Fuck you, get active.
If you ain't with that bullshit,
holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Frisco mixed with burnout.
So holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Fake niggas known for whacking shit.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Still playing with them nines, bitch.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Hope I don't get mistaken identity. These niggas on sight with artillery. Quick to drop them shells on the scenery. And outside of Wall Street, it's only me in the century. Block full of convicts that could be attorneys. Town gang make good. Out of town money niggas be hating and hungry. Watch the wolf try to bring the sheep out of beast. Dump possession on paper, he home in weeks. And they try to fry me, Charlie, for armed robbery. Watch the couch plate to the beat of the game symphony. See Saturdays in Oakland, how dare it be? Niggas get drunk, forget rules, and wake up in North County. I wake to the face of a nigga I know down in me. What's fucked up, that's Oakland reality. I let the code of the streets survive by the rules in the 70s. And I ain't signing shit, so don't
you ain't with that bullshit,
holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Frisco mixed with burnout.
So holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Fake niggas known for whacking shit.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Still playing with them nines, bitch.
Holla at me later.
Young Reach,
holla at me later. Holla at me later.
When I was on feet, hoes they wanna walk with me. Now that my money talk, they wanna talk to me. Broke bitch can't even get a piece of chalk from me. Damn sure ain't gon' never get a heart to heart from me. We stanky rich, you can still smell a fart on me. Candy Brandon Wild look like Jolly Rancher hard candy. Come correct, you tryna holla at me, player. Come with that bullshit, you gon' holla at the cater.
I got the calico, nigga, holla at me later. Crumble you like Doritos, holla at me later. Getting paper like casinos, holla at me later. Scrap the passage, go get you out, holla at me later. Bullet white out, go X you out, holla at me later. 4-5 with them caters out, holla at me later. When we get active on real deal, holla at me later. Squad kids, gon' work you out, holla at me later.
If you ain't with that bullshit,
holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Frisco mixed with burnout.
So holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Fake niggas known for whacking shit.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Still playing with them nines, bitch.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Yeah, I hear the rumors, bitch niggas wanna bag me. 2 bops twerking me, that's a tag team. Hopped out the 6:45 rag beam. You see that red dot, boy, that's the mag beam. 5 hoes on the blade, that's a track me. 6 is sitting on the deck looking nasty. Prince left to the best, and if you ask me, ain't a young nigga in the game who surpassed me. It's been ugly on the block since last week. My man banged at the cops, now we can't eat. But what about these other rappers left they all week? Call them boys cotton candy, they so soft and sweet. Cross me, I have your office week. Fluff got the AR, don't think he won't squeeze. Nigga, I blow trees, sip bow, and sold keys with who? OGs, that's constant rollies.
If you ain't with that bullshit,
holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Frisco mixed with burnout.
So holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Fake niggas known for whacking shit.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Still playing with them nines, bitch.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Being dumbass burnout, reppin' this Frisco. Hey, I do it for the mob, make my shells make a dippo. Been mine for BG, dumb actors for Nico. City business on mine, been making them get low. Hey, just say I got an upper swagger, but they just mad cause Goose business got my pockets sagging. Game up, nigga. Hey, the love got me breaking small. Rest in peace, Parker, when brother we ride for y'all. They know the rest,
If it ain't about dollars, then fuck it, I don't holler. One beef, don't bother. Desert Eagle grab collars and lift you. Bruh, I ain't with that mischief. Shoot you, freeze, rest in peace pictures. Do you get the picture? Dropping niggas like Geronimo. One call less than 30 minutes like it's dominoes. ASAP, either we beefing or we funkin'. Squad move so mean, they don't even know who dumping.
If you ain't with that bullshit,
holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Frisco mixed with burnout.
So holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Fake niggas known for whacking shit.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later.
Still playing with them nines, bitch.
Holla at me later. Holla at me later. Holla at me later. It's your nigga losing it, man. Your Frisco nigga, man. With Twine, man. Steady turning wheels. I ate this burn-up family, man. The mob so goddamn thick, they heard a rumor they moon mean. If you faggots don't know what moon mean, you're too late, man. And if you're just now stepping your game up, man, you already slipped. Oops.